Pleasure is your birthright. Hello, I am Kassandra Reyes. I am a sensual embodiment and intimacy coach for women who want to reignite their power and experience more pleasure in life. I am so excited to be here to help you rediscover your inner pleasure. So today I'm going to guide you through a few exercises so you can release shame around pleasure and uncover your unique self-pleasure practice. I know, so juicy, so delicious. But before we start, let's take a couple deep breaths to center ourselves before we dive in to all this juicy, delicious pleasure. And full disclosure, you may want to watch this video in private. This is an 18 and up video. So let's take a couple deep breaths before we dive into this workshop. If you want to have a seat, close your eyes, get comfortable. And you place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and just take a few deep breaths here. Inhale through your nose, and exhale, let something go. Another deep breath in through your nose. And exhale, let something go. One last deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. Take another sip. And an audible exhale out. Ah. And whenever you're ready, you can come back, flicker your eyes open, and come back to the screen. So this can be a pretty taboo topic and sensitive subject. So I will say, full disclosure, if this triggers you in any way, I just invite you to pause and take a few deep breaths and come back to this video. Pause it, take some breaths, and you can come back. I'd also like to invite, though, a reflection and ask you the question, like, why does this trigger you? What is coming up for you? What is true for you right now? I invite you to get a journal and a pen, as we will need a journal and a pen throughout this practice today. And journal out these questions. If it triggers, like if a trigger arises, allow yourself to express what is coming up for you on paper. So utilize that journal and write down these questions. You can always go back and rewind and see what's coming up for you, because sometimes based on our past and our experiences and our trauma, talking about sex and taboo topics and pleasure can be a really sensitive subject. And I just want to make sure that you are aware that it's okay. It's okay if it's triggering something. It's okay if something comes up, but just being aware and writing it down and seeing what is it reflecting back to you in this moment. But now that we have all of that together, let's get started. So, discovering your unique pleasure ritual will consist of understanding if you have shame or blocks around experiencing pleasure. It will consist of you understanding what you actually enjoy, and it will consist of you understanding how to create safety within that so you can experience more pleasure. So, do you constantly put others before yourself? Do you feel like pleasure is a bad thing? Are you ashamed of giving yourself pleasure? Like, really understanding what holds you back from experiencing pleasure is huge, because through the pain that holds us back, we can transmute that energy into pleasure. So in this exercise, I want to invite you to journal out some questions. So please get a journal, get a pen, and let's get to it. So the first question I'd like you to ask yourself is, When I experience deep pleasure, I feel blank. Put your answer in the blank. When I experience deep pleasure, I feel blank. What do you feel when you experience deep pleasure? Do you feel joy, ecstatic, shame, guilt? Do you feel like you don't deserve it? What are you feeling when you experience deep pleasure? When I experience deep pleasure, I feel blank. I invite you to pause and take some time to write out these questions, but I will continue. So, number 2, I feel I'm not able to experience pleasure because blank. I feel I'm not able to experience pleasure because blank. Why do you feel like you can't experience pleasure? What holds you back from being able to experience being pleased or enjoyment? So again, I invite you to pause, really take this time to really answer these questions, because it's going to bring you this awareness that you may not have looked at. Maybe these aren't questions that you've answered before, or maybe these aren't questions that you've even thought about. So like bringing this up, you're going to understand and discover things about yourself that you didn't know. And question number 3, what do you believe about pleasure? Write down all your beliefs about pleasure. Do you believe pleasure is deserving? Do you believe that you deserve pleasure? Do you believe pleasure is bad? Do you believe pleasure is a sin? What do you believe about pleasure? So take a few minutes, journal out, and make sure when you're journaling that it's the first thoughts that come to your mind and your awareness. Don't try to judge it. Don't try to shame it. Don't try to change it. This is yours for you to keep. You don't have to show anybody anything. So like be your authentic true self on what actually comes up for you when you answer these questions. I'll go over the questions one more time. So 1, when I experience deep pleasure, I feel blank. Number 2, I feel I'm not able to experience pleasure because of blank. And number 3, what do you believe about pleasure? So take a few minutes, pause this video if you need to. Now we're going to move on. So the next step to discovering your unique self-pleasure ritual is figuring out what you enjoy and what really turns you on and makes you wet and lights you up inside. Enjoyment and pleasure go hand in hand. So understanding what really lights you up and makes you wet for life is key. We need to know how we like to be pleased, what we like, how we like to feel, what we like to see. In order to understand what you enjoy and think about, you have to experiment and also go back into your memories of what actually pleases you. So think about a time that you had delicious, juicy, orgasmic, ecstatic sex, like it was one of the best sexual experiences you've ever had. Think about that time. Bring that back into your awareness. Bring that back into your memory. And the reason I'm saying this is because we are going to dive into what you enjoy. So, what was that experience like? What was your favorite part of the sexual experience? What did you enjoy most about the best sex you've ever had experience? What was it? Was there music in the background, soft music? Was there sensual, seductive music? Was there lots of foreplay, like foreplay for 30, 40, 50 minutes? Was there lots of touching and caressing and passion? Was there stimulating conversations that activated your mind and your cosmic field? Were there power play dynamics and kinks? Were you using blindfolds or being tied up? Was there another person involved? What was this experience like for you? And what made it? Like, what was your favorite part about this sexual experience? And based on your experience, Write down what you loved most about the experience, and you will understand what turns you on the most. For example, I've had a sexual experience, one of my favorites, where I was blindfolded and tied up, and I was in a submissive role. And one of my favorite experiences was being tied up and not being able to have control, but in a sense where I couldn't move my arms. But that was one of my favorite experiences because there was so much surrender and trust in the other person to being tied up, and surrender and trust into myself that I'm going to be safe. So you can utilize this energy in what you wrote down, what turns you on the most based on your experiences. You can utilize this energy with everything that you do. So, the next step to discovering your unique self pleasure ritual is creating a safe space. Safe spaces are so important to the nervous system, and you must create a safe space that makes you feel sexy, delicious, confident. Creating a safe space, creating the safety will allow your body to submit to your own touch and release extreme ecstatic pleasure into your body, throughout your body. Creating safety in the container, making sure you have candles lit, lighting incense if that's what makes you feel safe, creating a safe container for you, locking your bedroom door, putting on colorful lights. That will help you release in your self pleasure practice. And based on these 3 exercises is how you can find your unique way to uncover your self pleasure. So, for example, step 1, we need to become aware of what's holding us back if you have any shame around pleasure. So understanding that will help unlock you to step 2, which is figuring out what you enjoy and what really lights you up. Based on what you enjoy, you will then create a safe space so you can enjoy what turns you on the most. So if you would like to dive deeper into learning more on how to tap into your sensuality and connect deeper through intimacy and experience these deep states of pleasure, please feel free to contact me on Instagram at confidencecoach_Cass with a K. That's confidencecoach_KASS. And or you can reach me on Facebook. You can message me directly. You can DM me. Or you can click the link in my bio. You can book a free call with me so we can unlock the blocks and step into your juicier pleasure. I will teach you rituals, specific massages, tantric practices, pleasure practices, and really release the shame around your body. Release the shame that you have with connecting to your body so you can experience deeper pleasure within yourself and with others, or one person, or with a partner. But thank you so much for your time and energy today. I appreciate you sharing space with me today. And remember, if it doesn't make you laugh and it doesn't make you wet, then it's not for you. Okay, I will see you soon.